when you print money, unfortunately, the prices of things generally go up faster than your wages. This is what we've been seeing happen for decades, not just since the pandemic. But the people that are becoming wealthier here are the people that own these investments. Why? Because the first money is going into these investments and the value of investments go up. So now if you own those stocks, if you own these companies, if you own this real estate, all of a sudden the valuation for your assets go up because of this money printing. Why? Because now banks have more money and they put that money into these assets. So now the asset owners now become wealthier because there's more buyers for your assets. And now what we see, the impact of this is that the average person becomes poorer because they get inflation. And the wealthy and the financially savvy and the investors get wealthier because they own the assets that are going up in value. That is the benefit of being the first to get that money instead of being the last to get that money. Because when you're the last to get that money, you get the inflation. When you're the first to get that money, you get the wealth. And if you don't believe me, how about I prove it to you? Let's go back about 55 years to 1971. In 1971, the median household income in the United States was around $10,290 a year. The median house in America was selling for around $25,300. Can you believe that? The median new car in the United States was about $3,742. If you wanted to go to a public university, 1 year at a public university was about $1,410. And then the stock market, more specifically the S&P 500, was trading at around 100 points. Well, let's take a look at what happened over the decades through 2025. The median household income in the United States grew to around $83,730, which is a growth of around 8x, which sounds pretty good. But remember, you have to compare incomes relative to the cost of things. The median house in the United States in 2025 was about $420,300, which is a growth of around 17x. The average new car in 2025 costs a little bit over $50,000, which is a growth of around 13x. 1 year at a public university went up to around $22,600, which is a growth of roughly 16x. And at the same time, the S&P 500 jumped up to around 5,800 points in the year 2025, which is a growth, yes, about 58x, which means, hey, you got a raise. But the prices of things that you need, like your house, your car, your college, have gone up all faster than your incomes. But at the same time, the investors got a windfall. The investors became significantly wealthier because of this money printing process. But do you want to know the real kicker here? In 1971, the median household income in the United States was based off of one person's income. In 2025, we now have a two-income household. The man and the wife are working now. In 1971, it was just the man that was working primarily. So now in 2025, we have two people households, yet despite the fact that now we have twice the number of people working in a house, the income per household hasn't even kept up with the price growth of things, let alone the price growth of asset values. This is why it is so important for you to be financially educated, to understand how this system works, because this money printing, meaning the government spending money they don't have, is not going to slow down. In fact, it seems like it's only going to accelerate because of the way that our economic system is. Now you can hate it, you can love it, or you can learn to use it to your advantage. And in this system, the person that becomes wealthy is the investor. The unfortunate part is we're never taught how to invest our money. We're never taught how do you make your first investment. We're never taught how to build wealth. But when you understand how this works, you can use this to your advantage as a long-term investor. Now, this does not mean that investment values only go up. Investments go up and they go down. We have seen 16 recessions in the last 100 years. We've seen 25 market crashes in the last 200 years. With more money printing, we're going to see more market crashes. We're going to see more volatility, more ups and downs. But despite the recessions, despite the market crashes, we have seen asset values boom relative to prices of things, relative to incomes. And so if you want to be on the winning side of this economic system, you have to be an investor. You can invest in stocks, you can invest in businesses, you can invest in real estate. These are the three assets that have built more wealth than anything else over the last century. But the key is that you have to get started because this is not going to slow down. In 2026, the government's going to spend $2 trillion that they don't have. Part of this is going to be through people lending money to the government. Part of this is going to be through foreign governments lending money to the government. But the other part is going to be through money printing. And that money printing is inflationary. In this video, what we talked about is that in 2026, the government is going to spend $2 trillion that it does not have to continue running our economy the way that it is. Well, the government has one source of revenue, tax dollars from taxpayers. And we're going to collect about $5 trillion in 2026, but we're going to spend around $7 trillion. And the $2 trillion now could be made due with one of three things. The government could raise more taxes, but they're not going to do that. They could cut spending, but they're not going to do that. Option number three is they can borrow this money. They can borrow this money from people like you and me, foreign governments, or the Federal Reserve Bank. The Federal Reserve Bank doesn't actually have this money sitting anywhere, but they have the ability to quote unquote print money. And when you print money, that creates inflation, but it doesn't create inflation equally. And they don't actually print money. Instead, what they do is something called open market operations, which means they're creating this money digitally. And what it actually does specifically is the Federal Reserve Bank creates this money digitally, and then they're going to go out and give this money to one of 24 primary dealer banks. These are some of the big banks on Wall Street. Well, these big banks on Wall Street are the first people to touch this new money. And as this new money gets created, now these big banks are going to give it and lend it to the United States government by buying these treasuries on behalf of the Federal Reserve Bank. But these banks are going to take a commission for making this transaction happen. So these Wall Street banks are the first people to get that money before the inflation actually gets seen through the economy. Well, why does that matter? Because now when they're the first to get this money, what do they do with that money? They invest it into the stock market, they invest it into companies, they invest it into real estate. Well, now as there are more buyers of these assets, the prices of these assets generally go up. Because when you have more buyers and sellers, the price of these assets go up. When you have more sellers and buyers, the price of them goes down. And that's why when you have money printing, we see asset values go up. Well, over the next weeks, months, and years, we start to see that money now enter our economy through government spending. Well, this now becomes inflationary because you start to see the delayed impact of this money entering our economy. It has already entered the economy here, but it is slowly going to enter the economy here with the government spending money on things like Social Security and Medicare and defense and interest payments and infrastructure and everything else that the government spends money on. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.